Hi everyone, this is David Lees. Welcome back. Here today to review issue 2 of Transformers, A Bold New Era. Thank you for those who viewed and commented on my previous video. This week, or this issue number 2, follows on from last time. I'll jump straight in, pretty much straight away. Issue 2, this features Chromia on the front. I've not met her previously, but she features heavily in the story this week. So moving straight in, the credits written by Brian Ruckley, art by H.L. Hernandez and Kasia Whitman, colours by Joanna Lafuente and Josh Burcham, letters by Tom B. Long, and the editors are David Mariotti and Tom Waltz. We have a recap initially on the first page, talking us through what happened last time, Rubble and his perspective on things, so looking at that. And then recapping in the final corner with finding Brainstorm, who is not okay. Moving fairly quickly through, really pleased to see an increase in the cast, the dramatis personae. We have Rubble, Bumblebee and Windblade as previously. Orion Pax, really great to see Prowl join the cast. Chromia, as I mentioned, is on the cover. Megatron and Wheeljack. Wheeljack also features in this issue, and we'll come to him shortly. One of my gripes and complaints about the previous issue was Rubble, who I thought was going to be this naive, cute little character who would be irritating in the nth degree. I'm really pleased to see that right from the very first page of this new issue, his character is developing in a different direction. We have a single page here of him thinking to himself, letting us know what his thoughts are. And he's, 41, 42 cycles old, so whatever that is, possibly 6 to 7 weeks. But he comes to the conclusion here at the bottom, my mentor does not know everything. So Bumblebee, despite being knowledgeable and experienced, really still doesn't know everything. And you can see that kind of reflects the underlying atmosphere in Cybertron, that new things, strange things are unfolding that haven't been seen before. And what's more, as it says at the top here, Bumblebee can be wrong. Introducing lovely image here of Prowl front and centre. I don't understand this. This is madness, says Bumblebee, looking at the demise of Brainstorm. There's a conversation that goes on between Prowl and Chromia, who are the two investigators, detectives, police character types. Really, I like the way that appeals to Prowl. Investigating the death, as it appears, of Brainstorm. Prowl is written really well. He comes across as a real pedantic idiot. I mean that in the best possible way, but he comes across as nitpicky, overly concerned with details, even to the point where he questions that Rubble might have been responsible for Brainstorm's death. I mean, obviously that's almost impossible, highly unlikely, but Prowl really keeps an open mind, overly dependent on logic. So it's that's kind of Prowl's character, even suggesting that the characters they met last week, the Voin that were around, the sort of monkey type creatures, might have been responsible. And Chromia and Windblade shout him down, but that's Prowl. He has this real overly fastidious nature, and it comes across really well in the way he's written. We don't actually get to see Orion face to face in this episode, this issue, but he does appear on a sort of hologram in conversation with Chromia and Windblade, talking about the Ascenticon rally that was Megatron previewed last time. It turns out that they don't have enough security officers to man the rally and to investigate Brainstorm's demise, but there's this kind of underlying tension that develops again here, in that there just aren't enough security staff to man both incidents. So there's this strain being placed already. So there's the likelihood that things are going to spiral out of control. It seems to be all right on the surface, but below the surface there's a lot that's about to fall apart. I spend a lot of time through the middle part of the issue looking at Bumblebee and Rubble. Since they aren't going to meet Brainstorm, they meet Wheeljack, and this is a delight. In the same way as Prowl was written as an uptight police investigator, Wheeljack is written as a mad scientist. It's really well written. He's very enthusiastic, full of energy, full of ideas, excitable, exciting, and really very, very different and well written again from that perspective. Another mention of Turgomax, who developed and engineered this idea of one of Cybertron's moons being a sort of an energy harvester in orbit around the planet. If you ask me, this is either a lot of wasted time looking at this moon that can open up and absorb solar radiation basically, or it's a great big target for a future terrorist attack. It's not. I'm not sure. That's just my suspicion. Rubble, curious and wandering off, we find these little bugs that have come in from another planet that got irradiated, like little rats. So there is organic life on Cybertron. We've seen that previously, and that kind of takes up an entire page worth. So you can see there's a lot going on, a lot being said, but not a lot actually happening. Really, really enjoy this brief cameo from this untitled character who is an engineer, prominently red and blue, probably a Tetchy character, and probably Gears. But we see Rubble and Gears working together, blowing stuff up, having electrical faults and things, and Rubble learning. We see Gears actually transform. That's the only transformation in the entire issue. So slightly irked about the lack of transformations amongst the Transformers. We had one last time. We have one this time. Yeah, it's a bit meh, to be honest. A bit so-so. We see Bumblebee and Rubble look at this moon as its wings expand out, and how exciting and enthusiastic that is. If it hasn't got a bullseye target on it by the end of next issue, I shall be disappointed, because it's just a waste of time otherwise. There's a lot of exposition about nothing, to be quite honest. That's probably about 2/3 of the issue. We finally get to meet Megatron again. Here we can see Megatron with Soundwave behind him, nice touch, addressing the Decepticons. Big miss on my part last time. The Decepticons are clearly associated with the Rise, Ascent, Rise, it's all there and I missed it. But Megatron goes off on one of his political rants basically. He feels limited, constrained. The Autobots have got all the power and all the authority and they're not doing anything with it. And he goes through, just to throw in a quick spoiler, apologies, you can't exactly miss this huge explosion that happens at Megatron's rally. Somebody or something has set off an explosion at his rally, at his speech. He obviously remains unaffected, heavily armoured character, goes charging in, move aside, take cover, and he goes charging in to find there's nobody there, it's gone, but there will be an answering for this. I will have an answer. So Megatron, really like the way Megatron is developing in these comics, more so than anybody else, to be quite honest. Particularly liking, you just can't trust him. He's completely untrustworthy. Has he set off the explosion for himself? Possibly. Is it to further his own political agenda? Maybe. But he's definitely stirring and up for a fight. As I said, very little Orion packs in this issue. We see him just outline the lack of security cover that they have at the moment. And that the whole issue comes comes across a lot like last time's. A lot of setup, bit of action at the end. So it's really going to be a slow burn. There's lots of talking. There's very little actual development of the action, of the plot. It's much more about the characters and what's going on, and how they're learning and slowly manoeuvring into place. I'd really like to see some proper action as the pace pick up a little over the next few issues. Having said that, I did enjoy it. I really like the artwork, as before. It's really well written. I like the visuals. I like the Orion Pax version with his heavily armoured body. And I will be back again in 2 weeks to review the next issue. Otherwise, I'll leave it there. Please do leave comments, questions and such like. And I'll be back in 2 weeks. Until then, transform and roll out.